Let's just start with a core truth that can literally make or break your company. You can't scale what you don't understand. Simple as that. And if you can't name the exact belief shift you cause in your customers, you're not really scaling a business. You're scaling a guess. So let's unpack the framework that separates real growth from just guessing.
So, does this whole situation sound familiar? You've got some early traction, right? You're landing some customers, you're getting some wins, and it feels like you've got momentum. So, the next logical step is to scale it up. You pour money into more ads, you hire more salespeople, you triple your content output, but the growth stalls. It just kind of hits a wall. Why? Why doesn't it scale?
Well, the diagnosis from leadership is almost always the same. We need to execute better. We need more budget. We need better talent. But here's the thing. What if that diagnosis is completely fundamentally wrong? What if the problem isn't your execution at all? The real problem is you never truly understood what was working in the first place. And this right here, this slide perfectly illustrates that core problem. See, most companies are stuck on the left side, in activity scaling. They're just scaling the inputs, the noise, thinking that more activity will automatically equal more results. But the companies that truly break away, they focus on belief scaling. They figure out the one specific shift in conviction that creates a customer, and then they engineer their entire business around causing that one shift over and over again.
Because here's the principle that changes everything. You're not just selling a product, you're not just selling a service. At the deepest, most fundamental level, you are transferring a belief from your mind to your customer's mind. Every single conversion, every sale, every closed deal, it's all the result of a successful belief transfer. So what do we mean by a belief shift? It's that exact moment of transformation. It's the aha moment. It's when a person's entire perspective just clicks into a new place. And suddenly, your solution isn't just one option among many. No, it becomes the only, obvious, inevitable choice for them. That transformation, that's what you're really selling.
And as you can see, these shifts happen at every level. For a customer, it might be that leap from thinking, this problem can wait, to realizing, oh my God, I can't afford not to fix this right now. For an entire market, it's moving from seeing something like AI as just hype to understanding its essential infrastructure. And, this even applies internally, shifting your team from feeling like a cog in the machine to knowing their work actually moves the needle. So, the crucial point is this. Your software, your service, your strategy, those are just the delivery mechanisms. Your real product, the thing people are actually buying, is that moment of new belief. And if you can't define that moment with absolute precision, you can't replicate it. And if you can't replicate it, you sure as heck can't scale it. So how do you find it? How do you go from just throwing tactics at the wall to actually building a real, sustainable growth strategy? Well, it starts by asking 3 pretty ruthless questions that will expose the true engine behind your growth. Here they are. They look simple, but they are incredibly powerful. Number 1, before they ever met you, what did your customers believe? Number 2, after they experience what you do, what do they believe now? And number 3, the most important one, what is the proof you provide to get them from A to B? Let's dig into each of these.
First up, you have to know the starting line. And listen, this isn't just about their problem. It's about their belief about their problem. That's a critical distinction. For example, maybe they believe their current painful process is just good enough. It's annoying but manageable. That's the real inertia you have to overcome. Okay, so next, what's the new conviction you need to create? This is the destination. To stick with our example, the new belief isn't just your product is better. No, the real shift is them realizing good enough is actually costing us way more in wasted time, silly errors, and team frustration than fixing it would. Once they believe that, the sale is practically a foregone conclusion. And finally, what's your proof? This is the bridge. This is what gets them from that old, good enough belief to the new, we have to fix this belief. And this is not just a feature list. Your proof is the case study that puts a dollar amount on the hidden costs of good enough. It's the data, the framework, or the demo that makes that new belief completely undeniable. This is your real conversion mechanism. Okay, so this all sounds great, but what if you're sitting there right now and you can't actually answer those questions? What if your belief shift feels a little fuzzy? Well, that's okay. There's a really practical 3-step discovery process you can run to find it. First, you need to talk to your last 10 customers, the people who just converted. Then, go analyze your lost deals to figure out what belief shift you failed to create.
And finally, you synthesize all that information to map out the before belief, the after belief, and the proof that bridges the two. And I mean real on-the-phone conversations, not some anonymous survey. So, when you're having these conversations, what are you listening for? Here's a hint. You're not listening for feature requests. You are listening for belief language. You want to hear them say things like, well, I used to think that this was impossible, but after seeing your demo, now I believe that we can actually do this. That phrasing right there, that's gold. That is the belief shift happening in real time. So, what happens when you get this clarity? When you finally nail this down? Everything changes. You instantly move from being a tactical operator, just running more campaigns, to a strategic leader who actually understands the core mechanism of your own growth. This clarity literally transforms every single part of the business. And it even changes how you talk to your board. Just look at the difference here. The tactical operator on the left reports on activity. We ran 15 campaigns, we got 5,000 leads. It sounds busy, right? But it doesn't show any real understanding. The strategic leader on the right reports on the mechanism. We identified and shifted a core customer belief, which directly improved our conversion from 8% to 19%. One gets you polite nods in a meeting. The other shows you actually own growth, and it gets you promoted. Because at the end of the day, the companies that win aren't necessarily the ones who shout the loudest. They're the ones who are the clearest. They know exactly what belief they need to shift, and they've built an entire engine designed to do it predictably and scalably. That clarity, that becomes an uncopyable competitive advantage. So, here's your action item. This is your homework. I want you to sit down with your team and define your company's belief shift with absolute ruthless precision. Use this exact template right here. Fill in these blanks. Before us, customers believed this. After working with us, they believe that. We create that shift by this. I'm serious about this. If you and your leadership team can't complete this sentence clearly and confidently, you are not ready to scale. Period. You're still just guessing. And that's the question I really want to leave you with. Forget features, forget benefits, just for a moment. What is the single most important belief your business creates in the world? Because once you understand that, you don't just have a product anymore. You have a growth engine.